Welcome back to Stadium Review episode 17, as we're in Chicago, Illinois to see the Chicago Blackhawks play at the United Center. The United Center lies just west of downtown Chicago, Illinois, and is the home of the Chicago Blackhawks of the NHL and the NBA Chicago Bulls. The arena ownership is split 50-50 between both teams. The stadium originally opened up in 1994, replacing the old Chicago Stadium, which was just across the street from it. However, the Blackhawks didn't move in until January of 1995, due to an NHL lockout. United Airlines holds the naming rights of the stadium, since they're based in Chicago at O'Hare International Airport. The outside of the arena is built to resemble the old Chicago Stadium exterior. In 2017, the arena was expanded by completing the new atrium located on the east side of the arena. The arena is often referred to as the Madhouse on Madison, due to the raucous environment that the fans create. And those fans definitely tend to pack the building, as the United Center is the second largest stadium by capacity in the NHL, seating 19,717, with standing room about 22,428. Getting to the arena can be a little tricky, because unlike all the other Chicago stadiums, there isn't readily available public transit that goes right outside of this stadium. And that's apparently because the Blackhawks and the Bulls owners wanted to make more money off of parking, which creates the surrounding area that the arena has today, just full of concrete parking lots, which is unfortunate because then you have to pay for parking. However, the night we were there, it was only $22 for parking, which isn't too bad being in a large city. The two closest public transit options are at Ashland and the Illinois Medical District. And in 2023, they plan to put a new public transit stop at Damon. Unfortunately, I don't have the usual fun montage of getting to the stadium and the area around the stadium, because coming down to Chicago that night took twice as long as expected because of a large snowstorm moving through the area as well as heavy traffic. Due to all the large parking lots and the immediate surrounding around the arena, there's not a whole lot of attractions like bars and restaurants right close to the arena in good walking distance, which really ruins the atmosphere around the stadium itself. Unfortunately, due to the snow, we didn't really get the chance to explore outside the stadium, but if you do, be sure to check out two statues of some Blackhawks icons outside of the arena. And before we head into the atrium, quick reminder, be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying it, and subscribe to the channel so you can see lots more stadium reviews just like this one. So we entered the arena through the new large atrium, which had lots of events going on beforehand. There was a bar inside as well as a DJ. They also had lots of games that can be enjoyed by anyone, such as curling since it was during the Olympics, as well as a lot of air hockey. And of course the centerpiece of the atrium really is the large Michael Jordan statue. This was originally outside the arena, but when the atrium was built, it was built around this statue. And I know we're here for a Blackhawks game, not a Bulls game, but this statue definitely deserves getting some love. Alright, so into the main concourse now, which has a really nice, crisp, modern aesthetic to it. I really love all the lights that are used, especially the red light that's used around the rim by the concessions. All the signs are done in a silver metallic, which presents a really clean look. I also really enjoy how different vendors and bars have their own unique theme and design to them, which gives a lot of variety to the concourse, and every place has its own unique thing to offer, both from a food and design perspective. However, as a whole, I did find the concourse to be quite a bit cramped and very congested, and the walkway seemed to be really narrow and not wide enough to really fit a whole lot of people. One of my favorite parts of the concourse was the display of all the Bulls NBA championships that they've won. 3 of those 6 came while the Bulls played at the United Center, in 1996, 97, and 98, with the 96 and 97 finals being won inside the United Center. On the flip side, the Blackhawks have also won the Stanley Cup 6 times total and 3 times while at the United Center, in 2010, 13, and 15. However, their only championship victory inside the United Center came in 2015. But unlike the NBA that has a new trophy every year, they can't really keep the Stanley Cup inside a trophy case. The seating's laid out in a pretty symmetrical 3-tier style that nearly wraps uniformly around the entire rink. Just above the lower bowl of seats, there's a ring of private suites and clubs. And there's another ring of that above the middle bowl of seats. And there's also another ring of suites at the very top of the stadium, just below the rafters, high up above the 3rd level. The stadium also boasts a really impressive press area. And up high in the third tier, a cool addition is cutout bars that are in opposite corners of the rink. Overall, the seating is pretty basic and generic, but it's an absolutely massive seating bowl. And as you can tell, it has lots of private suites and clubs and areas for premium seating. And in a big city like Chicago, you're paying a pretty penny for those seats. After the game was over, I got the opportunity to go down low to the glass right next to the ice and have a look at the stadium down there, and you get a good feel for how big the seating section really is. Before the game, let's have a look at some food options. One of my traditions with all games in Chicago's is that I love to go to Giordano's Pizza, and since we're short on time, we obviously didn't get the chance to go there in person. But they have several of their stands around the stadium. I saw people with lots of these small little boxes, and I scoured the entire stadium to find it. And I finally found one of their deep dish personal pizzas. Now, it doesn't look that great, but it was actually really delicious, and I was pretty surprised at how good it was, especially considering how it looked. Before the game, the atmosphere really started to build, with this hype video highlighting the Blackhawks' long and historic history before the teams took the ice. I didn't mention it yet, but this game was against my favorite hockey team, the Columbus Blue Jackets. With the teams on the ice, time for one of the best traditions at the United Center. So back in 1985, during the conference finals, the Blackhawks were facing off against the Oilers, and were down 2-0 in the series. Game 3 came back to the old Chicago Stadium, and the fans in the arena just started to erupt during the national anthem, cheering the whole time to pump up their players for the huge game ahead of them. And that tradition has stuck ever since, as the anthem is absolutely belted out, accompanied with a live organ that was actually created to replicate the old organ at Chicago Stadium. And this creates an intense atmosphere and just has to give you chills. During the game, I was absolutely mesmerized by the center hanging video board. The bottom ring of the board has graphics going inside and out of it, so the players can see what's going on down at the ice level. And they had such detailed statistics on it as well that I've never really seen it any other places, such as the current speed for everyone skating on the ice, and also tracking time on ice, time of the current shift, and time of possession for each player. But probably what I was looking forward to the most when coming to the United Center was a goal by the Blackhawks, because I think they have one of the best goal songs in the NHL, Chelsea Dagger by the Fratellis. However, I do think the Columbus Blue Jackets goal song is a little bit better. The Blackhawks mascot, Tommy Hawk, well that's cute, was also quite a character and was climbing all over the railings, which was pretty fun. I've noticed that large market teams don't really have a lot of in-game promotions and games going on because they don't really need the extra revenue. So there wasn't a whole lot of that throughout the game. But what I did notice is that Blackhawks fans are extremely brutal towards their own team. I heard lots of people yelling some not very nice things to their own players when they weren't performing as well. However, the team and the fan base aren't on the best relations right now because of everything that came out that happened back in 2010. And I think that's also hurt the Blackhawks' attendance this year, along with the team's poor performance on the ice. However, as a visiting fan, I really didn't receive any harassment or pushback from any Blackhawks fans, which I was a little surprised by, but happy to see. The game itself was really good from my perspective at least, as the Blue Jackets were able to beat up on the Blackhawks by a final score of 7-4, with Patrick Laine recording a hat trick, and a great solid performance all around by the Jackets team. And that sent my friend Sean and I back home with some happy smiles on our faces. Now we actually were there with some friends that have the inside scoop into the organization, and after the game we went up to this really cool bar inside the arena that has an awesome old-timey aesthetic to it. And apparently this bar is not very well known and kind of a hidden gem, and I was told to kind of keep it on the down low. So if you do see this video and end up at the bar because you saw it here, remember, I did not send you there. But it is an awesome spot that's open to anyone in the arena and you don't need any special access to get to it. Plus, it has a fantastic view to the Jordan statue down below in the atrium. And for souvenirs, when we were walking the stadium, we were given these really cool Blackhawks koozies. I am definitely not a Blackhawks fan, but I love free stuff and this is a pretty sweet koozie. And for every hockey stadium that I visit, I always like to collect a hockey puck from the team. So at the store, I did pick up a pretty cool vintage Blackhawks hockey puck, which will be a great add to my collection. Alright, thank you so much for watching today's video of the Chicago Blackhawks United Center. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel because we've got lots more stadium reviews upcoming. I'm trying to post at least one video a week and the channel has been growing pretty well recently, and I'd love to have you on board. And if you've ever been to the United Center, tell me about your experience below and what you thought of it. Thank you so much, and I will see you again very soon. Thanks. Bye.